What's up, people? Welcome back. We got another project today. This is the kids' bathroom. And my plan is, because I didn't show you guys really the last two bathrooms I did our master bathroom over just the vanity area, as well as the vanity area over the bathroom downstairs with pretty much LED lights around them. I had to wait a little bit because I did get two more lights for the kids' bathroom up here. Also have new vanity lights as well. And we're going to pretty much knock that out. I already got my Romex. I got everything I pretty much need. I'm also going to change this slide out because I put this here as a bulb, instead of that like bulb looking thing that comes standard in houses. I put that there, worked out great, but I have another light that I'm gonna put up there instead because it provides more light on this side of the bathroom. But that is the plan so far. We're gonna change this out. This mirror is actually gonna get recycled and used downstairs in the gym. So we're gonna see me get to do that. But let's go. Also, I had already redid the floors in here, so I did the floors after I finished the floors downstairs. I went and got a few more, and I did the laundry room over, and I'll show you guys videos of that later. But in the loft area, these are the mirrors tucked aside. LED, right around, fog. Hopefully they're the right size. Because I got the same size I put in every other bathroom, but I realized that this vanity is a little shorter, so we'll see. And here's the vanity lights and a Nerf gun thing, fantastical. And London's coloring. Now there are a few tools that you're actually going to need. Number one, you're going to need some type of wire cutters. Number two, what I'm going to use in order to make sure everything's leveled is I do have a laser level. I have a couple different ones. I'm going to show you guys the ones that I have right now, but really it's just going to be the laser level to make sure the mirrors are straight where they need to be. Also got some drywall anchors. The mirrors came with drywall anchors, but I went and got upgraded ones just because I know there's not going to be a stud in every section, which is okay. And then I will probably have to paint and patch because I'm going to have to take this mirror down, and this is going to be a pain. But it's really just going to use drywall putty knives to kind of pop it off the wall and go side by side. I'll try to get a shot of that so you guys can see how to take the mirror down if you guys ever want to do this yourself. The hard part is going to be I'm going to have to patch the walls probably because it's going to have that glue tar in certain places. Hopefully it's not too much because I'm terrible at doing drywall work, but we'll make it work. So as you guys seen, I was able to get the mirror down. It's pretty straightforward. What you can do is you can actually tape it up. I've done that before, but this is like my third time doing it, so I kind of have a good feel of it. Plus it's not as big as the other mirrors that I did before. And all you could do is just do like painter's tape across it, and then pretty much use like goof off if you're going to reuse the mirror again to get off the residue of the paint. If you use like any other type of duct tape or anything like that. Now, usually it's kind of just a normal scenario you'll see like pieces of the tar that they use to kind of put it up. What you want to do is as you're going around, you're just hearing it. Like I have my headphones in, but I actually had no sound in because you can kind of hear it peeling away from the wall the entire time. Like you can actually hear it slowly getting away, you can feel it. And all I did was kind of just use these guys in order to kind of get the first initial start. Then I used the 5-1 tools because it's a little thicker and heavier, so it does have a little bit more wedge. And I was able to kind of move a little further. And you know what's coming because these will start to, especially on the side, these will start to slide down more and more again. And you guys seen it. Now this side had a wall on it, so I didn't really have to focus on that side too much. I really just kind of got all around. And as you kind of hear it peel away, as long as you get like a good bit of it, it pretty much just kind of just comes off itself. Now, like I said, to be safe, you probably want to wear some safety goggles. I don't got one on, obviously. Definitely have gloves. So I definitely have gloves to make sure it doesn't slip or doesn't also cut myself. I don't know how well this will do about cutting, but it definitely helps with not making sure it slips. If it's a very big mirror, you might actually need some help to make sure you pull it out and then everything's run smoothly. But like I said, I've done this a couple times already, so I kind of have a good feel for it of how it goes. And if you don't need the mirror over, I guess you could technically just smash it and then just clean up the glass after it's all said and done if you're demoing the room anyway. So that's another thing. Now, I don't know. All right, now I don't know how far technically this mirror is going to go. I really just bought them off the sides of the last one I ordered. So there's probably going to be like a little bit of a gap here. Not a big one. So I might not have to do too much, but I will have to kind of fix this. I won't have to worry about fixing these too much because I got to cut a hole in the wall right here anyway. And then I'll take down these guys once I'm ready. But what I'll do before I bring these down is actually line up where I want the mirror to go. The bracket, put the brackets on. And then once the brackets are on, then I'll cut the hole. And then once the holes are cut, then I'll take these down. Electricity is nothing to play with. Because these are regular lights on a light switch, technically speaking, if I cut the power off to a light, there's going to be no power up there. Definitely get yourself a battery, a power tester to make sure. I'll show you guys a link if you guys need one of those as well. But you want to make sure you actually have something to test the power to make sure you don't get yourself shocked. If you have a lot of people in the house, I would just recommend cutting power to the circuit breaker to the room that you're working in. Then checking the voltage to make sure there's no current going through it. But as long as you do that, you should be perfectly fine. But this is kind of like installing a ceiling fan, where as long as you cut the power off at the wall, there's no power up there, the circuit's cut. But if you're somebody that does not want to mess around with electricity at all, I'll definitely suggest just cut power to the circuit breaker. Or you go all in and just cut power to the entire house. You can do that also. But these are next. And luckily, this light is actually on another switch, so I can actually keep this light on while I work on this. So let's do this. All right, now so it comes down to like figuring out where I'm going to position the actual mirror. I'm going to have to do some sanding because where the paint lines hit, it's going to be a little weird. But now I got to figure out where to actually put the mirror. And the mirror actually comes, I've used several different types of mirrors. Like this is the third different version I've used. They all have the same semi-type bracket system. It's usually like you put a bracket on the wall and it pretty much just hangs on it. It's no different. So what's going to end up happening is I measured from the bottom of this bracket to the bottom of the actual mirror, and that's 26 inches. So I know that wherever I put this bracket, I got to measure down 26 inches. So that's where the bottom of the mirror is going to stop. So that'll give me a better idea of what, how it looks. So let's just do a quick little trick here. So 26 inches is going to bring me there. That's a little high. Let's bring it down. Think about still a little high. Like right about there. Yeah, that'll give me about 2 inches off the bottom. I like that. So for now, I'll just do like a temporary mark to kind of see where I think it's going to go ideally. Nothing too major. This is where later on in a little while, this is why you need a laser level. This one wasn't too expensive. I actually got a couple different versions of this. I'll show you guys those in different videos based on what I'm using it for. So there's a couple of these that I actually have from this actual company. It's called Duvo. It's on Amazon. I'll drop the link for you guys. This is the C2-120G, and this is their basic one. I believe, I forgot how much this one actually cost, but this was actually fairly affordable. And what it does, it actually is rechargeable, but you hold it on and you get a cross beam. You get it straight up and down. You could also get it this way. And as long as you actually have it on a flat level surface, it'll pretty much do what it has to do, like that. And what I'm going to use this for is I'm going to actually, when I put the mirror up, kind of make sure that I'm level, everything's good to go from here. You can also use a regular level, but I found that sometimes with the way the walls are sometimes not as like straight all the time, it makes life a little easier. So I find it sometimes easier to just use a laser level. Obviously, it depends if it's in your budget or not, if you guys want to invest in it. But these are pretty affordable, so I'll drop the link if you guys are interested. And what I'll normally do is, once I have them semi like where I want them, then I'll use the laser level to make sure like they're both parallel with each other and everything's good to go from there. But at least I know if I hit it on this line, this wall is this side of the mirror straight up and down, and we're good to go from there. I almost forgot one thing. When it comes to figuring out the placement, not only do I measure from the bottom of the bracket down to figure out how far it's going to go down, but then I also measure from the end of the bracket to the end of the actual mirror, so that I know that wherever I put the bracket, where the mirror is potentially going to end. So that's kind of helps me figure out where I want it to go. And that'll kind of help you speed up the process so you don't have to keep putting it down and putting it up. Trust me, the first time I did this, I had to take the mirror up and down like 6 times before I found the perfect spot. So I figured out on the last time that if you just do all the measurements up front, it'll make it a little easier. Now, is it always going to be perfect? No, because I'm not a professional. Maybe you're not a professional. But for the most part, she gets you square enough to where you're all right. Also, the mirrors do give you a little bit of time, room to kind of shift from side to side a little bit. So you get a little bit of adjustment space, but you just want to get as close as possible. Now I'm going to tell you where the laser level actually comes in handy. Is now I can actually use it to measure where the middle of the faucet is and go straight up. That kind of helps me decide where I want to go with it. I might still shift it a little bit to one side because this is not always going to be the perfect spot, but it does give you something. Now, if this is literally, if you have one vanity and this is literally in the middle, then it'll make life easier. But since I have 2, I have a little bit of flexibility. I'll figure that out as I go, but we'll play with it. All right, brackets up. Now it's time for a test fit. I'll test fit both of them, make sure they're right spots. Then I'll start cutting holes and wiring them up, but we'll test fit them first, see how they go. First one's test fitted in. I actually like how it looks. It's actually pretty level. If you guys could check, the laser level actually goes straight up. I use that as a reference point. It's actually pretty sharp. And yeah, I'll have to paint around. Now there is going to be a little bit of gap, but that's all right. My biggest thing is making sure height-wise it's pretty good off the low, because this is a kid's bathroom, so I don't want it too high, the mirror up too high. So I do have to make it where it's kind of low enough to where they're still able to see in there. I think this is pretty decent. Yeah, and I still have to protect the film on this, so that's why it kind of looks as hazy as it looks. But I think I'll keep this up now. Well, I'm gonna take it down, put the other bracket up just to make sure. Well, I did my line for the other bracket, so I should be fairly decent. And then line them up together, make sure they're tight, and then I can always readjust them later. that's it. We are done. It's up. It's alive and kicking. I think it came out pretty good. You know, there's a few imperfections, but I think the light came out pretty good. The joys of doing DIY projects is that it's not always going to come out perfect, and you just got to be willing to decide what you're willing to live with. And if not, then you can just get that part outsourced for somebody else to do. There's some imperfection when it comes to painting. When I sanded it down, it didn't go away completely, but I'm okay with that. Over time, we'll probably end up painting this room over another color once the kids get even older again. But so far, I'm actually pretty happy with these lights. They're nice and bright. The mirrors were easy to install. I'll drop the links to everything so you guys, they're all on Amazon. So everything I used was on Amazon. Took me about combined over a course of 3 days, probably like 7 hours combined. The longest part was like waiting for like the drywall to dry, the drywall patches to dry. But otherwise than that, once you kind of get an understanding of where you want them to go, is actually pretty easy and straightforward. And then hanging up the new Vanity lights was pretty easy itself. So it was pretty good. Tell me what you guys think.